Hey there, it is John with another thrilling story. It was a typical Friday night in the city. Sarah had just left her job as a social media manager and was excited to meet up with her friends at the trendy new bar in town. As she walked down the dark alleyway towards the bar, she noticed a man lurking in the shadows. She quickened her pace, but the man began to follow her. Sarah's heart raced as she tried to find a way out of the alley. She took a sharp turn and found herself face to face with the man. He was tall, with piercing blue eyes and a menacing grin. Sarah tried to scream, but he clamped his hand over her mouth. "Don't scream," he whispered. "I'm not going to hurt you. I just need your help." Sarah was terrified, but she listened as the man explained his situation. He was a hacker who had stumbled upon a massive conspiracy involving some of the world's most powerful tech companies. He had evidence that could bring down the entire system, but he needed Sarah's help to do it. At first, Sarah was skeptical. She didn't know anything about hacking or conspiracies. But the more the man talked, the more convinced she became. She could feel the adrenaline coursing through her veins as she realized she was being drawn into something much bigger than herself. Together, Sarah and the hacker began to unravel the mystery. They spent countless hours poring over code and analyzing data, all while trying to avoid being detected by the shadowy figures behind the conspiracy. As the evidence piled up, Sarah realized that she was in over her head. She had never been involved in something so dangerous before. But she couldn't back down now. The hacker had become her friend, and she was determined to see this through to the end. Finally, they had enough evidence to expose the conspiracy. Sarah and the hacker arranged to meet with a journalist who was eager to break the story. But as they made their way to the meeting spot, they realized they were black suits surrounded them. Sarah's heart sank as she realized they had been caught. The men snatched the evidence and dragged Sarah and the hacker into a waiting van. As they drove off into the night, Sarah felt a sense of dread wash over her. What would happen to her and her friend now that they had been caught? Would anyone believe the truth about the conspiracy? It was a thrilling, heart-pounding ride that left Sarah and the hacker forever changed. They had uncovered a dark secret that threatened to upend the entire tech industry. But at what cost? Thrown into a small, dimly lit room. Their captors had taken their phones, laptops, and any other electronic devices they had on them. They were left alone, with only the sound of their own breathing to keep them company. Sarah tried to stay calm, but her mind raced with thoughts of what could happen to them. The men who had taken them were clearly professionals, and they didn't seem to care about the consequences of their actions. What if they were never found? What if the conspiracy went on unchecked? The hacker, on the other hand, seemed more determined than ever. He paced back and forth, muttering to himself as he tried to come up with a way out. Sarah watched him for a while, impressed by his resolve. She had always thought of hackers as shady characters who lurked in the dark corners of the internet, but this man was different. He was smart, resourceful, and fearless. After what felt like hours, the door to their cell creaked open. A man in a black suit walked in, followed by a woman in a lab coat. The woman carried a laptop and a small device that looked like a USB stick. Sarah recognized the device as a memory eraser, a tool that could wipe out all of the data on a computer. The man in the suit spoke first. "You two have caused us a lot of trouble," he said. "But we can make it all go away. All you have to do is forget everything you know about the conspiracy. We'll wipe your memories clean, and you can go back to your normal lives." Sarah and the hacker looked at each other, unsure of what to do. On the one hand, they had risked everything to uncover the truth about the conspiracy. On the other hand, they were just two people against a vast network of powerful players. What could they possibly do to stop them? The hacker spoke up first. "We're not going to forget," he said firmly. "We know what you're up to, and we're not going to let you get away with it." The man in the suit shrugged. "Suit yourself," he said. "But you should know that there are consequences to your actions. You may think you're doing the right thing, but sometimes the truth can be a dangerous thing." With that, the man and the woman left the room, leaving Sarah and the hacker alone once again. They sat in silence for a while, digesting what had just happened. Finally, Sarah spoke up. "What do we do now?" she asked. The hacker looked at her with a steely gaze. "We keep fighting," he said. "No matter what happens, we keep fighting."